Today I'm here with Joe McDermott. Joe, you've been dealing with our deer herd for a long time, and recently in a county in central Kentucky, we've had a positive CWD of a deer.
Yes, sir.
Now, this was a deer that was in a captive facility, correct?
Yep.
That triggers our regulations that changes deer hunting a little bit in 3 counties, which
Breckenridge, Hardin, and Meade.
So Breckenridge, Hardin, and Meade County now have some new regulations that deer hunters need to be aware of. Tell me a little bit about what these regulations are.
So when a county becomes a CWD surveillance zone, by default, these regulations are enacted. So what we have in place now, we have a ban on baiting and feeding, with the exception of food plots or bird feeders around the curtilage of your home. You can't put out any bait or mineral on the landscape. Then we have carcass transportation regs. Basically, you can't take any high-risk parts out of the zone. Okay. You must debone the meat before leaving the zone, or clean up the skull, finished taxidermy products, things like that. Basically removing all the heavy infectious material. And then we do have a ban on rehabilitation of fawns.
If you're in this area, I mean, deer season, archery season's in. We've already had a muzzleloader season. Gun season is
right around the corner.
Right around the corner. In this situation, if you have some corn out or a mineral block, do you need to run out there and immediately try to pick all that up?
Just don't deploy anymore.
Okay.
Corn, bait, mineral, anything like that for this year. You don't have to go out there and try to dig up, in a 10-year-old existing salt block. Just try not to put any more out for the remainder of this season.
Okay. And then if you take an animal, let's say you take a big buck and you want to take it to a taxidermist. If your taxidermist is within that 3 county and you've taken the animal in that 3 county zone, how do you handle that?
It's just status quo. Business is normal. You just, harvest the deer, telecheck, follow all those procedures, and then just take him to your taxidermist. If the deer is harvested inside the zone, it may stay inside the zone, no special regulations. Where that kicks in is in your scenario, say your taxidermist is outside the zone, and we killed the deer in Breckenridge, Hardin, or Meade counties. To take him to a taxidermist outside the zone, then you would have to follow those carcass transportation regulations. So you would need to cape and skull cap is the most common way to get that animal out there.
Completely debone.
Well, I'm saying if you're taking to a taxidermist, all you need is the cape and the skull cap.
Yeah.
But yes, to remove the rest of the meat, it has to be deboned.
Now, Joe, there's some really big meat processors in that 3 county area. What if you use them as a meat processor, but you take your deer in, say, Bullitt or Jefferson County?
If you've killed it outside the zone, you can utilize the services inside the zone, no problems.
Now, for these individuals that are hunting these areas, for years, they may not have known it, there's been an opportunity to drop off your deer skull.
Yes, sir.
For CWD testing. Has anything changed in that as far as a requirement?
No, so in Breckenridge, Hardin, and Meade, although they are surveillance zone designation, they do not have any mandatory check requirements proposed for this season. We're going to work processors and stuff in the area to get our samples, but we also have these CWD sample drop-off sites, which are just a freezer that's located out there on the landscape for you to put your sample in. You'll take the head, all the instructions that you need are right here on top of the freezer, but you'll take the head, put it in here, 2 to 3 weeks will give you a result.
It's just an additional peace of mind. You can find out for sure if your animal does have CWD. Now, still remind people at this point in time, we've still only had two animals now. One of them was in a high fenced zone.
Yep.
One of them was in Ballard County. So
Yes,
we've
sir.
had 2 cases in the entire state of Kentucky, and we've tested.
Over 60,000 deer since 2002.
So we've done a lot of testing, and we're going to do a lot of testing this year.
Yes, sir.
Ramping it up. So this is a peace of mind effort, but we really want the samples.
Yes, sir.
The department, we want the samples. So get involved, take your deer head, put it in the freezer, and then we'll give you the results, and it gives us another biological sample, which that's always a good thing.
Yep, that's perfect for us.
All right, thank you so much. I appreciate
Yeah,
you.
man.